Matter of fact, mine's up on you right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome. This is the first press briefing of the afternoon of the day. My name is Mary Rasmussen, Lead Information Officer for the Southwest Area Incident Management Team. So the agenda for today's briefing.
Well, no, they told me to go to the TV.
We're going to provide a briefing, a Q&A afterwards, and then a couple announcements. So speaking today is just going to be myself and Tony Shaka.
Excuse me, could you talk louder, please?
Your mic's off.
I'm talking.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
I don't think she has a microphone.
All right. Well, I can yell. Does that help?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I can hear you. Good.
All right. All right. Well, welcome to today's press briefing for the update on what the fire's doing. Here's Tony Shaka, Incident Commander.
How are you doing today, folks?
Good.
I'm sure you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, so I visited with a bunch of you this morning. I reported that the fire was 5,088 acres, and of course it's still growing on the side of the hill. Tonight we will get what we call an infrared flight, where we'll fly over it, try to see where the fire perimeter is, and we'll have an updated size for you tomorrow. The jurisdiction of the fire is still on U.S. Forest Service land and Arizona State Forestry, up against the private land. The structures and the communities that are threatened are as followed: Granite Basin Summer Homes area, Alto Recreation area, Blackjack Community, Camp Anytown, American Ranch, Sundown Acres, Sedinsky Road, Mint Creek, the south end of Mint Creek. A total of about 460 homes are either evacuated or been given a heads up to get out. Right now we got hard closures on Williamson Valley Road, Iron Springs Road, Contreras Ranch, Pioneer Parkway, Williamson Valley. Talking with forest officials, we're in the process right now of getting a partial area forest closure for the area around Granite Mountain so we don't get anyone in. Major accomplishment since we met with you before is we do have an anchor point established, and what that means is we've got the heel of the fire or the toe of the fire anchored, so our firefighters, as they progress up both flanks, are at least safe, so the fire's not going to come around them. On the west flank of the fire, what's going on right now as we speak is dozer operations are pushing a line, and they're supporting it with retardant aircraft for a burnout operation that will happen this evening. On the west side of the fire, on the east side of the fire, as you can see out here, there is no structures lost. The fire is down in the flats, and we're actively engaging the fire wherever we can with what we call direct fire line. Where we cannot engage the fire with direct fire line, we are going to indirect fire line. Prescott Hotshots and a few others are working on the indirect fire line to try to do another burnout operation. So far, the bottom line is we're holding our own. No injuries. I think what else I have to share for you. Still about 600, we're up to 672 personnel on the incident. And I think that's all I have for you unless you have questions for me.
Can you talk about the neighborhoods that have been evacuated and what those folks can expect when they can go back? And
no, I can't. Because the bottom line is until we get some firefighting done in there, I can't give you an estimation.
Can you elaborate on the firefighting that is taking place?
Just did. Said the east side of the fire, they're engaged actively in direct and indirect suppression.
And can you talk about the conditions in there for the firefighters?
Conditions in there are smoky and hot, as you can see on the side of the mountain. Like I said, the firefighters are in there working right next to the edge of the fire wherever they can, and they're backing off. They have the heavy helicopters and the heavy air tankers that are in there supporting them as they do that operation.
What's the most important thing you want residents to know?
Please be patient. We're trying to be as transparent as we can with information, trying to give them as real time whenever we can get it. And as soon as we can get the residents back in there, we'll get them in there. Bottom line is, firefighter and public safety right now.
How big of a factor was the wind today in the firefighting efforts?
The wind is a big factor. Wind pushes the fire, and tomorrow, I got here the forecast is the wind's supposed to be even higher yet.
Contained in 0% still?
0% still, sir. I've been on the fire now for a whopping 7 hours.
How close are the flames to homes? Are any in imminent danger?
Not in imminent, but we still have lots of threat out there. That's what the hot shots and the air tankers right now. They're holding that fire on the east side against those structures in check with heavy aircraft and heavy helicopters.
Any new areas affected?
Not yet, ma'am.
Is Chino Valley on alert?
No.
How high are you expecting winds to gust tomorrow?
30.
To gust?
30.
Okay.
Earlier today, you talked about an operation of pinching the fire. Can you talk about what you meant by that and any progress on that?
Good question, because I can also report, like I said, we established that anchor point, and that flanking action I'm talking about on the east and the west flank. Our idea is to keep flanking that action. We think we have a tie-in point up around Mint Wash and beyond Mint Wash. They're reconning it as we speak to see if we can't get the both east and west flanks burned out and then come across the head of it. It's still a couple of days out, so please be patient with us.
Tell me, what have you been dozing?
We have been pushing brush, chaparral, pushing a dozer line in the chaparral to create a containment line to burn off of.
We've been hearing that some people are refusing to leave. Can you provide any kind of...
I've heard some of that rumor as well. Been working closely with law enforcement on that. But yes, I've heard that. I can't elaborate anymore.
There's a lot of really black smoke today. What does that mean?
It means it's burning hot.
Okay.
I haven't heard that rumor.
Can you tell us about the air attack and how the tank flights are going?
Air attack right now, as far as I know, we still have the 5 heavy helicopters that I talked about this morning. We still have 5 air tankers committed to this incident. Effectiveness is so far, even in the wind, is good. One of the issues that could evolve tomorrow, if we get winds much over 30 miles an hour, we may lose the effectiveness of the fixed wing and the rotor wing aircraft because the wind speeds may just ground them. We'll have to see how that plays out.
Did you have an emergency landing today of one of your planes? Did you know anything about that?
No, sir, I did not.
We're going to be concentrating on tonight.
Tonight we're going to be concentrating on, like I said, the crews are out there today on those indirect fire lines. Tonight we're going to be concentrating on some burnout stuff.
About cause, is human cause, any arrests?
Under investigation is what I was told when I got my briefing. No other details.
What would you like to say to the community, not just those who live there, but the rest of the community?
Please be patient with us. I live in this community as well. Been a resident here for 35 years. Work for Prescott Fire Department. We're all concerned about what's going on in this community. You know, the firefighters are out there, you know, working as hard as they can to get it contained. It's not gonna be over tomorrow or the next day. Just be patient.
Earlier today you said some residents to the north may have to be evacuated. Do you have any updates on that?
Nothing at this time, sir.
And who are you talking about specifically? Just homes like directly north of it?
Directly north and northwest of it. Yes, sir.
Are you talking about homes as far as, for example, Chino Valley?
No, sir. We just answered that question.
Would you describe today as a good day for the firefighting measures?
Every day is a good day. I don't lose a house is a good day.
Where all of your firefighters come from?
Arizona, New Mexico, Idaho, we've got firefighters from all around the country here. U.S. Forest Service has done a wonderful job of what they call pre-positioning resources. When the fire season ramps up, they bring additional resources in, and those additional resources played an important part of staffing this fire quickly.
Sir, what can the community do to help? Maybe the Red Cross? Is there anything we can do to help?
Mary's going to address that in just a minute.
Thank you.
Earlier I was out there today, I saw a black plume of smoke kind of go up really quickly. Do you know what would cause that?
Single tree torching or group torching trees, the concentrations of resins will cause that type of effect.
A group of trees?
Yeah, a single tree or a group of trees.
Is it still a lot of just chaparral and low brush, or is it into taller trees?
What's gone down to is if you want to take a look at a fuel profile or a fuel type, it's basically burning in chaparral with pinon and pine overstory. So what happens is the fire moves through the grasses, it gets up into the brush, and then it gets up into the trees and it runs. The issue is when you have a running crown fire, you've got to use some aviation assets to bring it down so you can get the ground resources in there to cut some line or do some burnout operation.
Tony, could you show us on the map where different firefighting efforts are taking place? What kind of equipment's being deployed?
Yeah, so like I said, on this west side, this is where the dozer line is. They came back in the corner of the road. They got a dozer line trying to hook it back up in here. This is, like I said, on the east side. What they're doing is this direct and indirect strategy, using the heavy air tankers and the helicopters to support the operation, as well as using aviation assets on the east side to support the operation. So it's a two-pronged flanking action to pinch it off at the head.
Can you explain to residents why they're
they don't understand why there's zero containment when you're making all these efforts to try to combat the fire.
I've been here 7 hours. Ask me that question tomorrow. I can't give you. I'm working as hard as I can to get containment, sir. It doesn't happen in 7 hours.
Do you have an estimate as to what the acreage might be tomorrow after you get it?
No, I don't have an estimate, sir. Like I said, I will give you as much intel as I can, as quick as I can get it. Mary Rasmussen, my public information officer, will give you the updates as she gets it. If there's a significant change or a significant event, we will publish that.
When do you anticipate your next briefing, Tony?
3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Here?
Yes.
Any new technologies that are being used here that haven't been used before?
Yes, well, it's not so much new technology, but the DC-10, what they call VLAT, very large air tankers, very, very effective in this fuel type, been really aiding in the suppression of what's going on.
What makes it?
What makes it? It holds 17,000 gallons of retardant. Versus the old air tanker that holds 3,000 to 4,000 gallons of retardant.
Makes a difference.
Makes a big difference, and it's really effective, penetrating through that fuel type to slow that fire down.
Are they refueling here or in Mesa?
DC-10, the VLAT, is going to Mesa Gateway, and then the regular air tankers are flying out of the Prescott Airport. So, you know, really appreciate you guys reporting the story. And honest to God, we're trying to get you as much information as real as we can get it. I know some of the stuff's frustrating about containment, but you know what? The fire started just about 24 hours ago, and a fire that moves. Well, I told you this morning, we grew 5,000 acres in about 8.5 hours. So if you want to put that is, the fire was burning about 500 acres an hour.
Can you talk about the investigation of the cause?
I cannot, sir. As a U.S. Forest Service, I was briefed that it's under investigation.
But it is human cause.
The helicopters are pulling out of American Ranch. They have a pond in there, and they're filling up out of that pond, and they're dropping in there.
Where is it?
American Ranch is off the Williamson Valley Road, roughly in this area.
So they hover over and suck it out.
You got it. Mary? Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Prescott Fire Chief Dan Fryhoe, who would like to make a statement.
The biggest point I want to make is that you folks are some of the best sources of information for the public. We get a tremendous amount of calls, and what we would like for you to do is to instruct the public to look at websites, wait for information from the media, from yourselves, instead of making phone calls. There's a lot of concerned individuals that don't understand what's happening, so they're calling and inundating the phone lines. Sometimes they're even affecting the cellular service. So it'd be doing a great favor to us if you would just focus a little bit of time on that. Wait, be patient, look at your media, newspaper, television, radio, whatever it might be, websites. That's your best source of information. Thank you.
That's a great segue. I'd like to just re-offer some of that information. So we have phone lines for folks to call in to get some information. Those are the original ones set up, and they're going to be in effect for another at least 24 hours before we can get additional phone lines set up here at the Incident Command Post. Those numbers are the fire information line for the Prescott National Forest, 928-777-5682. Yavapai County Emergency Operations Center is also assisting us. That number is 928-777-7552. As the chief mentioned, though, we also have websites out there that we're posting information. We have several. We have ncweb.org.gov. Look for Doce Fire. We also have Doce Fire Facebook page. We also have a Twitter page at Doce Fire. We also there's also Twitter at Yavapai Health with smoke information. So please direct some of those inquiries and give us a little break on the phone calls. That would be much appreciated. Regarding future meetings, as was mentioned earlier, we're going to have once a day press briefings at 1500 hours, 3 p.m. right here, same place, and that'll give you updates on what's happened in the last 24 hours. We will also be pushing that information out through those other channels, web pages and news releases. For tomorrow night, we do have a community meeting scheduled. So that'll be Thursday evening. The location is the Ruth Theater, also known as the Prescott High School Auditorium, so just south of here. And we'll have signs for that. That time is at 1800 hours, 6 p.m. And we'll have several large maps. We'll go through a full overview on what the fire has been doing and what our suppression efforts are. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh wait, excuse me. I do have one other issue I'd like to address. We have been getting calls and questions about donations. We would like to direct the public, if they'd like to help out, to call 1-800-RED Cross. Primarily, the most effective type of donation is actually money. Just so everyone knows, our firefighters are self-sufficient and well taken care of. We do have folks out in the community that are evacuated though. They may need some help. So we encourage you, if you want to donate locally, 1-800-RED Cross. The other place we're sending folks to is www.wildlandfirefighter.org. And that's if you want to donate towards wildland firefighting. One last announcement, they have set up a smoke monitoring site in Chino Valley. And so air quality conditions, you can check on that. That would be on